Good morning, F2, and welcome to today's maths lesson. Have a think. What day is it today? While you're doing that, let's sign the days of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yesterday, it was Monday. But what day is it today? If you said Tuesday, you're right. My turn. Today is Tuesday. Your turn. Well done. I want you to have a look at the spots again. See if you can recognise how many spots there are inside each circle. How many spots do you see on this circle? That's right, there are 5. It looks like a 5 on a dice. It has 4 spots around the outside and 1 spot in the middle. What about here? That's right, we saw this one yesterday. It has 4 spots in a line. Try this one. Yes, this is 4 too. It's ordered in a different way and it looks like the holes on our Numicon piece, 4. And it also looks like the dots on a dice that represent 4. What about this one? Did you spot that it has the 4 pattern again? So here there are 4 black dots and 1 more red dot at the top. We know that 1 more than 4 is 5. So there are 5 dots altogether. How many spots can you see here? That's right, there are 4. 3 in a line and 1 more spot on top. Altogether, that makes 4. How many are there here? Yes, there are 5 spots altogether. 4 black spots and 1 red spot, and together that makes 4. How many are there now? That's right, there are 5. It looks like the holes on our 5 Numicon piece. Now, our first job is to sort these spots into the correct boxes. All of the circles that have 4 spots will go in on this side with the number 4. And all the circles with 5 spots will go on this side with the number 5. Have a look, pause the video and see if you can do this before we do it together. Okay, now that you've had a turn, let's do it together. How many spots did you see on this circle? I can see 3 black spots and 1 red spot. Altogether, that makes 4. And it needs to go with the number 4. What about this one? How many did you see here? That's right, there are 4 dots altogether. 2 on this side, 2 on the other side. It looks like the holes of our Numicon 4, and it also looks like the spots on a dice that are showing us the number 4. How many spots this time? I can see that 4 pattern again. But there's 1 more spot in the middle, and we know that 1 more than 4 is 5. There are 5 spots altogether on this circle. What about this one? How many spots can you see here? That's right, there are 4 spots in a line. What about this one? I can see the 4 pattern again. Here are 4 spots at the bottom and 1 more spot at the top. We know that 1 more than 4 is 5. There are 5 spots altogether. What about this one? I can see that there are 4 spots in the middle, like we have seen before. But then there's 1 more spot next to it. 1 more than 4 is 5. What about the last one? How many spots are there on this circle? Now this one looks like our Numicon shape 5. It looks like the holes that we can see on that Numicon piece. And that helps us to recognise that there are 5 spots altogether. Well done if you got that right. So today we're going to keep practicing identifying rectangles and those special rectangles that we call squares. I went on a shape hunt today to find some rectangles. Before we get started, we need to have a think about the properties that a rectangle has. What I'd like you to do is look at the big red rectangle at the bottom of the page and use the red sentences to tell your grown-up what the properties of a rectangle are. How many sides does a rectangle have? What are 2 of its sides like? And what are the other 2 sides like? And also, how many corners does it have? Pause the video while you do that, then come back and we'll look at it together. Okay, now let's look at it together. A rectangle has how many sides? That's right, it has 4 sides altogether. But not all of the sides are the same. It has 2 sides that are long. Have a think about the other sides. So a rectangle has 2 long sides and 2, what are the other sides like? Here are the 2 long sides. And these 2 sides are short. And how many corners does a rectangle have? Let's count to check. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 corners on a rectangle. Don't forget that the long sides on a rectangle are opposite each other. So if the long side is here, the other long side is on the other side. If the short side is at the top, there is another short side at the bottom because the sides are opposite each other. Here are some rectangles that I found inside the house. Have a look and see if you can spot them. Pause the video while you do that. Okay, now that you've had a go, let's spot the rectangles together. So remember, our rectangles have 2 long sides, 2 short sides, and they have 4 corners. Oh, I can see a rectangle in this picture. I can see that the door has 2 short sides and it has 2 long sides. Does it have 4 corners? Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you spot any more rectangles in that picture? That's right. There are some other rectangles on the door. A long rectangle here and a shorter rectangle here. Let's have a look at the fish tank. Did you see any rectangles? I can see a rectangle on the fish tank. The fish tank has 2 short sides. It has 2 long sides. And let's check how many corners it has. It has 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you spot that rectangle? Maybe you spotted another rectangle in that shape. Okay, let's move on. Let's have a look at the mirror this time. So the mirror has 2 short sides and it has 2 long sides. Is this the rectangle that you spotted? Or did you spot the rectangle on the outside? Maybe you saw another rectangle. Before we know that this is a rectangle, we just need to check that we have 4 corners. So let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is a rectangle. Did you see any other shapes on the mirror? I think I can see a special kind of rectangle. I can see lots of squares. Did you spot them going around the outside? Well done if you did. Now let's have a look at the television. Did you see a rectangle there? Let's have a look together. Oh, I'm not going to use the outside of the television because it has curved corners. So it's not quite a rectangle, but I can use the inside. It has 1, 2 long sides, and it has 1, 2 short sides, and it also has 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. Well done if you spotted that. Perhaps you spotted rectangles somewhere else. Maybe you also saw a different shape. I can see that there is a round shape here that looks a little bit like a circle. So let's have a look at what I found when I looked outside the house. Pause the video and see if you can find the rectangles in these pictures. Perhaps you can find some other shapes too. Then come back and we'll have a look together. Okay, now that you've had a look, let's have a look at the rectangles in the pictures. So remember, a rectangle has 2 long sides, 2 short sides, and 4 corners. Let's have a look at the fence first. Oh, I can see that there are lots of rectangles on the fence. This one has 1, 2 long sides. It has 1, 2 short sides. And it also has 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. You can see that those are rectangles. That short side at the top is level, but my line's a little bit wonky. Don't worry, it is a rectangle. My shape is not, but the fence panel has a rectangle on it. Well done if you spotted those. Now let's have a look at these paving slabs. Can you see any rectangles here? It looks like the rectangles have been twisted around. But remember, even if we turn it around, it doesn't matter as long as it has 2 short sides that are opposite each other and 2 long sides that are opposite each other. It doesn't matter which way round it is. So I can see quite a lot of rectangles in this picture. I wonder if you spotted them all too. I can see that these bricks here are very small rectangles. And I can also see a rectangle just here. Did you spot that rectangle too? What about this one? It has 2 long sides. It has 2 short sides. And it also has 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. So that is a rectangle. Did you spot any other shapes in this picture? I wonder if you spotted a square. I can see a square in this picture. Here it is. This one here has 1. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4 equal sides, And it also has 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. Well done if you spotted that too. What about on the number? Did you spot the rectangle? Let's have a look. I can see that the number plate here is a rectangle. It has 1, 2 short sides, and it has 1, 2 long sides. It also has 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. What about on the door? Did you spot a rectangle on the door? That's right. The letterbox is a rectangle shape. There's also a smaller rectangle inside. Let's check that it has all of the properties that we needed. So it has 1, 2 short sides. It has 1, 2 long sides. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. Okay, after I'd finished my shape hunt for rectangles, I started to look for some squares. I want you to have a think. What properties does a square have? How do we know that it is a square? What is a square? It's a special what? How many sides does it have? And what are these sides like? And also, how many corners does it have? Pause the video and have a chat to your grown-up about these properties. Then come back and we'll talk about them together. Okay, now you've had the chance to have a go, let's talk about them together. So a square is a special what? That's right, a square is a special rectangle. How many sides does a square have? That's right, it has 4 sides. But what's special about those sides? Those 4 sides are, yes, they're the same. And that word that we use to mean they're the same is equal. So a square is a special rectangle. It has 4 equal sides. And how many corners does it have? That's right. It has 4 corners. Now we've remembered the properties, we can start looking for some squares. Have a look at the different squares that I found inside the house. Pause the video while you find them in these pictures. Then come back and we'll check them together. Okay, now that you've had a look, let's find the squares. Remember that a square is a special kind of rectangle. It has 4 equal sides, so all 4 sides are the same, and it has 4 corners. So let's have a look. Which of these shapes have 4 equal sides? Oh, I can see on this one that this box has 1, 2, 3, 4 equal sides at the front of it. And 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. That means that it is a square. Did you spot another shape on those drawers too? I spotted a small rectangle. Did you see that one as well? Well done if you did. What about the cracker? Let's find out. Is it a square? It has 1, 2, 3, 4 equal sides, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4 corners, so the cracker is a square too. What about the clock? Now, most of the clocks that we've seen in school are circles, but this one is a different shape. Let's check and see if it is a square. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 equal sides, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. It is a square. Now, did you see any squares in this picture? Let's have a look. What about the oven? The oven has 1, 2, 3, 4 equal sides. And it also has 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. I wonder if you spotted any other shapes in that picture. I can see that the cupboards at the top have 2 long sides, 2 short sides, and 4 corners. They are rectangles. Well done if you spotted them. Now, what did I see outside the house that had squares? Pause the video and have a look. Then come back and we will check them together. Okay, so now that you've had the chance to have a look, let's have a look at these squares together. Now, I can't use my special tool to be able to show you by drawing onto them because some of these squares are very small. But we will have a little look together and check that it has all of the properties that they need. Now, I can see that this planter has lots of squares on it. They're very small squares, they're tiny, but they have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal sides and 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. If you're not sure, pause the video and have a really good look just to make sure that those properties are there. Let's have a look at the bird feeder. Can you see squares on here? Yes, these bars make little squares. Again, they're very, very small, but we can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 sides and 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. Now, let's have a look at the garage. Did you spot a square on the garage? I think I did. And here it is. 1 side, 2 sides, 3 sides, 4 sides. And it also has 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. Did you see any other shapes on that picture? I can see some rectangles hiding on the door. And I can also see that the bricks that made the garage are also rectangles. Well done if you spotted them because they're very small. Let's have a look at the seats. Can you see a square on the seats? I can see a square here, look. 1, 2, 3, 4 equal sides, and 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. The chair has a square on the side of it. And this one does too. What shape does the table have? Can you spot it? Yes, the table has a rectangle. Well done if you spotted that. Now, here's your task for today. What I'd like you to do is to go on your own shape hunt around your house or maybe on your daily walk. See if you can find any rectangles and see if you can find any squares. Don't forget to think about their properties first to make sure that the shapes that you are finding are squares and rectangles. If you find that really easy, Then you can challenge yourself to find something that has squares and rectangles, just like our garage door did, and just like our table and chairs. That's the end of our maths lesson for today. Don't forget to send a video or a picture to your class email address so that we can see how you was getting along. See you again tomorrow.